We are live.
Do you think people like that that's how every show starts? Like, that's kind of our thing, I guess. You saying we're live. That's how every episode starts.
Makes them feel comfortable and at home and, a familiar place.
Yeah.
That's what
I feel like I've always wanted, it's funny because I mock hacky radio, but then I also kind of want to be that. Like, I've always wanted a snappy intro and a thing that I say at the end,
I say,
L'Chaim Brothers or something, whatever my catchphrase is at the end.
yeah, I just say, oh shit, basically every time very good show starts. Pretty simple.
It's good branding, I guess. It's sticking to your genre.
Yeah, it got to the point though where my OCD takes over because I really don't have OCD, but at some points I do. So having said, oh shit,
I don't know. That's how disorders work.
Yeah, no, but it's
it comes and goes.
I've said it so many times now. I'm like, well, I can't stop.
Right. Yeah, it's your thing. That's what I'm saying. Should we stop We're Live or should we come up with, welcome to the projects?
That's if you're going for hacking, that's pretty good.
I'm Blind Mike, and I have no idea how to promote this show when I'm on a much bigger one. Did you listen to that today?
Yeah.
I never know what the fuck to say. Kirk's very nice. He has me on. He's always very kind about promoting the show. And then he asks me, he has the gall to ask me what we're doing here. What are we doing? We never know.
I like how this is the one you're bringing up when it's the first time you actually said things. It's like, yeah, we got a live stream tonight at 8 and a board meeting tomorrow.
Well, I'll tell you why, because there were, did I say board meeting tomorrow?
I think so.
I thought I didn't, because I thought I got nervous. Because I'm like, I don't know. We talk about this and that. And like I even said, like, I go, well, now who knows? And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, we talked about everything. We didn't talk about anything that we're going to talk about tonight.
Oh, I know.
Maybe Rachel Nichols, but we did that yesterday.
It is. You know what? When you said that, I was like, what's he talking about? And then I realized it's the first time in a long time that we've actually gone live on a day that you've recorded with them.
A doubleheader.
Yeah, it's very rare.
Yeah, it is rare. Well, it'll be less rare now. Wednesdays will be, although Wednesday's usually a pre-tape day.
Usually, except for lately, we've been slacking on that one.
Yeah. There's a lot of inside baseball for those of you who aren't on patreon.com/blindmike. Because speaking of slacking, this is going to have to be the free episode. So we better pep it up today, baby.
Oh, boy.
Yes, patreon.com/blindmike, where you can join for as little as $1 a month. And you can subscribe for a year. You get 2 months free if you subscribe for a year as well. And for those of you wondering what we're talking about when we say board meeting, oh, you're going to love this, folks. You get the chance to do a show with us, basically. Greg just posts the StreamYard link for the $10 people, and they come in, and you'd pay $10 a month to come in, call me a cunt, and leave. That seems fun, right?
Yeah, we had the last time we did it was during the stretch of fingering phone calls. So that happened to you. That was fun. Chef Lewis.
Oh, yes. How could I forget?
Yeah, Chef Lewis showed us his kitchen.
Well, don't oversell it. You don't want to get the people too excited.
That's right. And Pat and Lawrence looked sad on his couch.
Well, we have a lot of fun back here. So if you'd be kind enough to subscribe, because I'm not like Maria Taylor.
Oh, boy.
We're putting this together with gum and paper clips here,
Imagine turning down $3 million a year.
It almost seems like she's offended by it.
It's like, are you fucking serious?
Like at this point, it's like $3 million. Like I'm going to take that. And now it's become a racial issue. So now you have to be outraged. And if you're not outraged, you're a fucking racist. And you have to say, how could she live on? That's the weird thing is like, do you think when, the great Martin Luther King gave his I Have a Dream speech, do you think he was talking about people making $1 million a year? Like, do you think that he was lumping that like, and when they have the gall to offer you $1 million a year, you scoff at them and call them racist?
No, seriously, that much money over 5 years, so what is it, $15 million contract, right?
Yeah.
Am I doing math right? Like, that's enough money. I see that, and I'm like, I could change the lives of almost everyone I know.
I could live for 400 years off that money.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you know what I've scraped by through my 20s? I've never made more than $25,000 in a year, roughly.
I fucking used to steal coins from my parents. They had like one of those 5-gallon buckets
Yeah.
of water full of change. I used to steal change out of that just to get gas money.
Yeah, and to me, it's offensive that they could let white men live like this. You know,
Well,
that's the real offensive thing.
how dare they?
But I feel like we've talked about Maria Taylor enough, Ironhead, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah. So someone called me Iron Jaw today.
I don't know if you caught that. I think that's my favorite thing to do on any program that I'm on now.
Let's bring it up.
Not only bring it up, but I don't know if you caught this. I said that Kirk asked why he calls you that. I was like, I don't know. I think it's Craig's idea.
Oh yeah, I know.
He's pushing for it.
Yeah, you do that.
Which I believe you are. You asked me. You were like, "Hey, can we kind of get that going now? Like, make it a thing."
Yeah, he asked. So you know what's funny? The first time that he said it, he didn't call me it during the. So the way we do it is we'll record the show, and then we record the intro, so he knows what we talk about. So then he says the intro at the beginning, and in between the show and the intro, he's like, "Did you have any nicknames growing up?" I thought he was just asking just to make small. I was like, "Yeah, Ironhead, blah blah," and then at the end, he's like, "All right, let's do this, Ironhead." And I was like, "Oh no!"
It's funny because I think Ironhead is the name of some guy that I used to interact with on Twitter, who was like good at covering Boston media and shit. But now, like, they call me like an alt-right fucking white supremacist or something.
Somebody actually tagged me in a post with that person the other day.
Yeah, so I'm surprised Jerry like didn't. Maybe he doesn't know who that is. But well, Kirk, that was funny.
He thought of Craig Hayward, and Kirk actually said the same name today.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah, isn't that great?
Whoa, you know what? I should do this. One last mention of the Kirk Minahan show before we get into heavy business today. Someone suggested that we do bad reads, which I thought was a funny idea. And then we had a gearhead reach out and say, "Hey, if you could give my business a bad read, I'd love it." So I do want to mention top to bottom office cleaners in Worcester, Massachusetts. This is a real business. And the guy that reached out to me is named John Callahan. So based on his name, I assume that he's not only a racist, but horrible at hiring staff. Mm-hmm. So top to bottom cleaners. And my understanding is that top to bottom is in reference to the fact that they anally rape you, not just in price, but they come in and sodomize you.
I also heard, I heard top to bottom is also named after the places they forget to clean. Everything.
Yes. Yeah, the place is a sty. No, check out top to bottom cleaners. They didn't pay me for that, right? I just thought it was funny that he reached out.
He wants he wants his company to do one for Shea Concrete.
Yeah, I wouldn't dare.
Put me in a real pickle.
That's what I should. That's the company I should have thrown out today. Fuck. But no, actually, John Callahan's a very nice guy. I've spoken to him before, so actually do check out top to bottom cleaners because he said, as we all are, as Maria Taylor knows, we're all going through a rough time right now. So if you're in the Worcester area, check those guys out. All right.
We should probably get real ad reads.
I don't know. I guess we should. I don't know that we have enough downloads, frankly. It's difficult. It's very difficult to get ads on podcasts.
We definitely have enough.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I think you need like a minimum 25,000 an episode.
No.
I mean, not if you find the right sucker, but
no, we can get some.
All right, we'll start doing that. Hey, if you want to advertise on the Blind Mike Project, you know where to find us.
Yeah.
More great promotion. I'm like, yeah. Don't, find me in the street somewhere. I'm not going to give you my email or anything. No, DM me on Twitter or on Patreon or whatever, wherever you can get a hold of me. We love some advertising. It'll help Craig get paid, for Christ's sake. Let's start that fund going.
I would love that. I was daydreaming today while driving, being like, this fucking sucks. I hate traffic. I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, what if we made a few bucks off this? Wouldn't that be nice?
Wouldn't that be sick? I could be on the Peloton right now.
Wouldn't that be something? And then you could do... So do you know if you're going to be on Jerry's podcast for good?
So I have no idea. Like, it seems like Kirk knows more than I do.
Is he throwing any numbers out there at you?
No, but he did say he's going to get me a check, so I'll know soon.
Oh, yeah, that's a good barometer, probably. I was going to say, you got to ask at some point.
Yeah, I'm just playing. Let it play out.
Yeah.
I'm basically, whenever Carano like doesn't want to, can't do it, doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
he's pulling a real Maria Taylor. He's holding out.
It's a ballsy move, but I respect it. I don't have those sort of skills. Yeah, give whatever you want. I don't know. Thanks for having me.
Free is fine. I know I got to pay this guy, but I'll work for free.
Whatever you need, boss. But speaking, enough of this nonsense. A man who, in broadcasting, who deserves much more than $3 million, more than $8 million a year, deserves $400 million a year, as far as I'm concerned. The great John Sterling is still at it. If you thought he died, on the contrary, my friend. Although this is not, I was saying to you before, I didn't see this many places. I saw like the one tweet about it, but I didn't. Usually, people used to love John Sterling's calls, and I mean that ironically, I guess, or whatever the term would be, in the sense that they mocked him endlessly. But I guess people are over the Ster man.
Yeah, I still, if he's pulling shit like this, he needs to stay around till he dies.
Well, this is great. This is one of his finer moments. If you haven't seen it, Yankees game late last night. They're in Seattle, I think.
Yes,
so they're playing on the West Coast, and Aaron Judge was at bat, or was he?
Now here's Judge. Man, the breaking ball is hit in the air to deep left. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. Unfortunately, that was a replay of the home run, but it was a good.
I mean, what an old man fucking thing to do.
My favorite part is what's her face?
Susan Waldman.
Yeah, he's like, this is swung on and drive, and he's like, she goes, yep.
I gotta say, I'll never find a woman, and Alba is terrific. She's great and fiercely loyal, but I'll never find a woman as loyal as Susan Waldman. Like those two, she tries to bail him out of every fucking blunder and oopsie-daisies. Just bending over backwards to make Sterling not look like an asshole. That's also what I would be like as a play-by-play guy, by the way.
You can
just anything they throw up on the screen. I'm like, well, that must be happening, right?
You can probably see the game just as much as him. No, my favorite though is the big giveaway that it wasn't real or happening was there was no sound when the ball hit the bat.
Yeah, what the fuck did he think was going on?
I don't know.
Well, Judge must have been up at least. That'd be hilarious if he wasn't.
He would know it was. It was a replay of him earlier in the game.
It's bizarre.
Like I think he was walking up, and he must have thought it was the first pitch. But
Sterling didn't think like, well, holy shit, another one. This guy's he didn't even seem that excited about
it. Ziggy says, drive into deep left field by Castellanos.
That'd be great if Sterling just dropped the N-word right before that. And then just a comedy of errors. My favorite ever with him is Hideki Matsui is up. I feel like I vividly remember it. It might have been in Tampa, or maybe I just pretend that. But Hideki Matsui hits a home run, and Sterling goes through, it is high, all that shit. And he goes, it's an A-bomb from A-Rod. And then there's silence for a few seconds, and he goes, well, it would have been if A-Rod had hit it. He's the classic broadcaster too, where it's like he'll kind of mock himself, but they take themselves very seriously.
If the production team has any balls, they're just gonna put random shit on the screen and tell them it's a home run from now on.
Like if that happened on a podcast or anywhere where people just like talk honestly, like if that happened here and you made a mistake like that, we'd do 20 minutes on it and laugh about it and all that. But Sterling, it's like, well, what did you? I think the line after that. Can you keep playing it? I think he goes, well, what was I supposed to do?
I X'd out. Hold on. I X'd out of it.
Oh, if it's a whole thing, don't worry about it.
It's not. It's not.
Yeah, I think he says right after that, like, well, what was I supposed to think? Like he's indignant about it.
It is right here.
Here's Judge. Man, the breaking ball is hit in the air to deep left. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. Unfortunately, that was a replay of the home run, but it was a good replay. Hey, I'm sorry. It's on the monitor.
It's a great way.
Yeah.
It's a great way to do a game.
I mean, what did you expect me to do?
He did say it.
It's a great
What
way.
am I supposed to do?
This is a great way to do a game. isn't it?
What am I supposed to do? Watch the game, John. I don't know.
Are they still doing remote?
Yeah, well, especially from the West Coast. I'm sure they're remote, but still. He goes, but it was a good replay. As opposed to usually they have cartoons of Aaron Judge hitting his previous home run.
Yeah, that's true.
The fuck does that mean?
I don't know.
It looked very real.
It was great. It was a great replay. It's the best.
Susan, that looked like it happened in real life at one point. That's how good that replay was.
Yeah, it happened 3 innings ago.
Yeah, well, they're going to die someday, and that's very sad to think about, you know? We mock them now, but we should treasure them.
Yeah, you should.
You know, an odd part of my, like, I was thinking about this the last few days for some reason, where, like, a year ago at this time, I feel so much better now than I did, like, a year ago at this time. And it's partially because anytime I start to get in, like, a shitty place, I think, this is literally a thought I've had for the last, like, 2 months, anytime that comes up. I think, like, well, what? I'm going to die. Like, what's the fucking difference? Like, why am I stressed out over this? Because eventually I won't be here and no one will remember me at some point. and that's the thought that keeps me going.
That makes me feel good.
That's what I need to get through my days now, is to think, well, at some point, none of this will have mattered.
I'm petrified of dying.
Are you really?
Yeah.
That's odd because you don't seem to care about living.
Well, it's just fucking so final.
Well, yeah, that's
Don't
true.
Well, it's gotten worse since I've had kids, and I'm like, I'm gonna leave them.
That I can understand. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so
you know what freaked me out even more was I was listening to Jim Norton talk about this.
Mhm.
He always talks about like futuristic shit, and a lot of it he's I think he's nuts on, but some of it and this is I think he's nuts on,
just on his forehead.
but yeah, right. But the logic is there, where he's talking about, he's like, hey, like, it sounds fucking crazy, but the science that we have now sounded crazy, 100 years ago. What if there's something, like he's talking about being buried, like he says he wants to be cremated, because he's like, what if there's something in your spine or in your bones somewhere that gives you some sort of consciousness, and we just fucking bury you? Like, we don't disintegrate your bones, you're just buried, and then there's some level of being that knows you're trapped in this box until you just rot away.
That would be so great.
Would it be?
Yeah, because they're like, oh, look, there's a body over here, and it's like some Confederate like warfighter. And he's not a big fan of the doctor who brought him back.
Yeah, that's who's doing this study.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
Hey.
They let women start doing this.
I thought they weren't allowed.
And that does sound crazy, but then when you think, what in fucking 1850, if we told people about any of the science we have now, imagine explaining coronavirus to someone in 1850.
Well, they probably relate to that.
Not really, though. Did they? I don't think they shut down the same way. It's like you don't live your life.
I mean, they're going to know about diseases back then. I want to more explain to them Skype or something.
Right.
That
would obviously be. But that's almost more... Obviously, it would shock them. But like the idea of some sort of technology, like if you watch old movies... I mean, 1850 is different. But if you watch like old movies and there's some commercial with Tom Selleck. I can't remember what it was for. IBM or something like that. But basically they predict the future. Like in it they have, and it's a little off, but it's like you can see each other through your phones and shit like that, where it's like we're pretty close.
Yeah, did you say? What did you say it was? IBM.
I'm guessing. I don't really know. Type in Tom Selleck future commercial. I can't imagine that'll work.
It might. Let's see.
I also, by the way, while you're looking that up, I will tell the people.
AT&T.
Probably.
Oh wow,
That's fun. That's a fun noise.
that sounds like ass.
Oh, we're not. Is that just how it sounds forever?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't die down or anything.
No.
Well,
We can
fuck
try
it.
it though if you want. I don't know.
Nah, it's not worth it. Who cares? Go watch it yourselves. I was about to say the end of this podcast might get sloppy because my Braille note taker shut down on me.
That happens so often. You're like, it died.
You know what's really odd about it is that it says low power in Braille. And I'm like, well, you have enough power to type this. Why can't you let me get to my notes?
Yeah, using all its So if it shuts off, what does the thing go flat? And then when you plug it back in, they pop back up.
I've had it plugged in for over an hour before we started, and it wouldn't budge.
Did you get the Costco one?
I don't know. It's whatever they send you.
Oh, fuck the government. Yeah,
That's right. The Commission for the Blind sends you all your goodies.
motherfuckers. They
That's
take
where I got my cane, my Zoom text on my computer, all that stuff.
It's a nice cane. Folds up quick.
Yeah. So if you're blind, folks, check out the Mass Commission for the Blind. They're sponsoring this episode.
A bad ad. Look what it did for me.
They are. It annoys me. This is another thing where it's like when I went to the program I was in, it was nice to be able to complain about shit that like other people wouldn't really get. Because I remember saying to someone, like they were asked me about something for the Mass Commission for the Blind. When I moved out here to Boston, like most blind people should be able to get like basically a T pass for free. Like you can ride the T for free, essentially.
Yeah.
One of the perks. And I was telling some, they were like, "Don't you have that?" And I was like, "No, I tried to get it when I first moved out here, but the Commission for the Blind, they sent me all this paperwork, and they were supposed to send me this paperwork, and I never got it, and blah blah blah, and the whole process took forever, and I eventually just like stopped trying, like I just don't have it." And the person responded, I was like, "Yeah," they were kind of like dicks about it, and the person goes, "Yeah, those horrible people that devoted their lives to helping the blind." And I was like, just fucking, you know, gripe with me here. Have a little.
Let me have that one, please.
There's still people that I can complain about, for Christ's sake.
Can't complain anymore.
But it is a good argument. It makes a lot of sense.
This person is taking time out of their day to make sure you
They
can
get paid. Don't give them too much credit.
Yeah, come ride the T for free. You can come on for free and get robbed very easily.
Yeah. And eventually those jobs, you can't look at them as like holier than thou. Eventually that job just becomes every other job.
It sure does.
Like at any job that you're just there 9 to 5 or whatever, eventually it just becomes, they slough off, They complain about some of these blind fucks. I'm sure they've complained about me.
Yeah, he hasn't brought us up positively on his show once.
No, he always complains about us. It's odd. I say that the shit I went through is like the smartest thing I ever did and the most help in my life. And I also manage to say they fucking suck.
Well, they did accuse you of cheating.
Oh, that was the program. That was not the Commission for the Blind. Yeah.
Never mind.
Although they're very accusatory there as well. Oh yeah, do you really need this?
Well, how many?
I have to come up with a thing like I had to write the reasons why I needed the Braille thing. And I was like, I'm blind isn't good enough. My eye test wasn't.
I can't actually write the letter to tell you.
Does that work? Is that good?
That's probably the test. If he passes it in, fuck him.
No spelling errors. What's this?
Perfectly on the line. I don't get.
Very strange. But I do I remember this. My first note, because I've forgotten this the last week or so, and I did want to tell you this. I've committed to plans with with Alba's father that it seems I can't get out of.
One-on-one plans?
I don't really no, worse almost.
What is it?
So I'll take you back to the weekend of Father's Day.
Uh-oh.
On Saturday of that weekend, I went to my parents' house, and while we were there, my stepdad came home and he had gone fishing, and they have a boat and everything.
You have a flashback when your dad told you that when you were younger?
Oh, he's never coming back.
Not
You know
again.
that game, right? She's like, no, I'm pretty sure you're just going out for the afternoon. I'm like, oh, that's cute.
There's no way both of them gone fishing.
So yeah, he comes back and he caught like a big tuna or something, and he was making it for dinner. I don't eat that shit. But anyways, this is a long way of saying he had tuna. So the next day, we go to Alba's parents for Father's Day, and I'm often like, Alba will get up and do something in the kitchen or go to the bathroom, or whatever, or her and the mom are making dinner or something. I'm often left alone with them.
Mm-hmm.
And the language barrier makes it so that, we don't have a lot to say to each other, but I'm a very awkward guy. I want to fill the silences. I also desperately need people to like me, so there's that angle of it. And I want Alba to at least, keep up appearances. She thinks I want her parents to like me. All that factors in here. So, where he mentions that he likes fishing.
Oh, no.
And I said, and he is very broken English and everything. But I know he mentions fishing. And I was like, oh, you like fishing, huh? As a matter of fact, my stepdad has a nice boat that he goes out on. He just caught a big tuna yesterday, blah, blah, blah. I start telling him about that. And I go, yeah, we'll get you out on the boat sometime.
Oh, no.
And he goes, oh, okay. And then I thought we would kind of never talk about it again. And then Alba comes back and he mentions it. And then she's like looking at me like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh, yeah, we'll get the whole family out there. For whatever reason, I've got I need to fill the silence. So I've just got this confidence. Like, well, surely they'll never call me on this. I could just make a ton of promises. And then they leave me alone again. And he mentioned that, I think he sang in Albania or something like that. Like, he's got some decent pipes on him.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking to me about that, and I was like, all of a sudden, they're gone, so I've got nothing to say. So now I'm giving him ideas for, YouTube videos. I'm going to make this guy a fucking star. I'm like, well, if there's any songs that translate well to from English to Albanian, then we got a gold mine here. Then I found out there's only 1 million Albanians. So I was like, oh, boy, we better lower our expectations here.
Yeah, you should have never said bring the whole family to a foreigner, because they literally will.
Well, I found that out, Craig.
No.
Because we got in the car, and Alba said, he's going to be extremely disappointed if we don't do that, this summer, right? And I was like, no, I could buy a few years. No. She's like, oh, no. So now the joy I did get out of it was that I've created the image of the whole family getting on the boat and me untying them at the dock and throwing the rope to them and just saying, well, have fun.
You should definitely do that. I'll film it from the bush.
Alba getting furious.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's that? I can't hear you, sweetheart. What's that?
Starts saying
getting into an Uber behind me.
Starts saying a bunch of words you haven't heard yet. Like that must be real bad.
Bon voyage, you kids have fun. So that image has at least gotten me through the dread of having to do this at some point.
Oh man. How did that phone call to your stepfather go? I can't imagine that was great.
Well, they kind of ignored me.
I bet they did.
So I called him. He didn't answer his phone, and I called my mom, and she was like, "Oh, that'll be fun."
Of course she would.
It's like, you have no idea if you think that's fun.
Your mistake was telling her the idea.
Well, I made a lot of mistakes through this, Craig.
You should have talked to your stepfather and had him explain some sort of, convenient boat mishap so you can't go on it, and it delayed it.
Oh yeah, the boat sank.
No, just like I need to get some rudders fixed.
No, it's got to be long term though.
Yeah.
Are you gonna stay on me about this?
Yeah, something.
Oh yeah, they ran into Somali pirates, and it was abducted. It was, it's theirs now. It's the seas.
Oh my God, nothing sounds worse than that. It sounds horrible.
Well, the other thing is, again, I'm so awkward, and they're gonna meet my parents, and my parents don't know any Albanian, obviously, and I'm gonna try and mediate. What are some words you guys have in common?
People are asking how's your Albanian gotten?
Oh, not good. I know. I know the basics to sweet talk the lady. Get her a little moist in the trousers, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Yep. I dated a chick that spoke fluent Russian once.
But also English, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to say, it was awesome.
Really? Why?
It was just so hot for some reason. Just
Russian?
Yeah, they just sound so angry all the time.
Oh, you like that? Okay, I was gonna say that seems very odd.
Not typically, but when you can't understand what they're saying and they sound like that, it does something. Yeah.
There's no. Oh boy. I was gonna say this will not help the people who say I'm an alt-right Nazi, but I was about to say the only accent I really like is like a southern, like a nice southern twang.
I do enjoy that.
A slight accent, like a slight Irish accent I like. I just keep naming white countries.
Norwegians.
A slight Irish accent I like. I don't like British. I don't like a Boston accent even, to be frank.
I only notice a Boston accent now if it's like Matt Damon in The Departed bad.
So that movie gets a lot of shit for its accents. Other than Martin Sheen, I thought everyone was pretty decent.
I thought everyone but Matt Damon was fine.
You think Matt Damon's is that bad?
Oh yeah, sorry, my computer went all kablooey on me. Like, shut the fuck.
Well, hey, listen, not every line Marty wrote was great, but
I was just like punching my drywall every time I heard it. It's like so fucking stupid.
No, that's not nearly as bad as microprocessors.
Yeah.
Martin Sheen, I thought, had the worst one. And Alec Baldwin's is like bad, but I've also heard guys that talk like that,
Yeah, that's true.
World needs plenty of bartenders.
Yep. I thought he might have been my favorite part of that movie, actually.
Alec Baldwin?
Yeah. I thought he was
odd choice.
Well, yeah, I know it was. I thought he was great in it.
Alec Baldwin's good in everything. He doesn't get enough credit for 30 Rock, honestly.
Yeah.
That's like one of my favorite shows ever. I think one of the best written sitcoms ever. And his character, Jack Donaghy, is fucking hysterical.
That's a show I need to watch more.
Oh, yeah. It's incredibly underrated.
It's one that, like, if I ever see an episode of it, I'm all about it, but I never go out of my way to watch it.
Really? Yeah, I would. I'd sit down and give it a chance. Binge it for a day or something.
Oh, there's a fucking show that's out on Netflix right now. What is it called? It starts with an M. Anyone in the comments help me? It's
not Maleficent or something
that was
like
close.
that.
That's a Disney movie. It's something like that. It's one word M name.
I know what you're talking about. The one that everyone was talking about getting canceled, and is Netflix going to bring it back? All that shit.
Ooh, maybe not. Hold on. Netflix. I need to bring it up because it is the worst show I've ever seen in my life.
It's got to be what I'm talking about.
Manifest.
Yes. Yeah.
It just came out with the second season, like I thought last week.
Oh, no. There are 3 seasons on Netflix, but all the buzz was that NBC canceled it. Maybe that season just came to Netflix or something.
They just the show Lucifer did that, and that show's great.
Yeah. So everyone thought it was like trending on Netflix, and everyone said, "Oh, Netflix is going to save it." But I heard it was dog shit.
It is the worst pile of shit, and my wife keeps trying to convince herself that it's good because she's wasted her time watching it. She's like, "It's not that bad, but there's some, like, plot." I'm like, "Laura, it's about a plane that goes down, and everyone dies, and then 5 years later, it's Lost but shitty.
I was just gonna say I heard the description of Lost without all the brilliant writing.
Sure, I've never watched Lost either, but I
Neither
know
have I.
I know they crash on a fucking island, right?
Yeah.
Like that.
So my understanding of it was, and you can I have not seen it, so you'll have to confirm this for me. But my understanding of it was that there's some phenomenon that causes these people to be missing for 5 years. In their mind, it's only like a couple days, right? But in the mind of the world, it's 5 years or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So something crazy like that happens, and then basically, like, you know, they try to get their jobs back, and after experiencing this once in a generation, once in a universe occurrence, and like they try to get their jobs back, and the workplace is like, well, we filled your spot. Like no one's that astonished by this.
Well, there was the main character, what's his name, him and his sister. He goes home and his wife is banging some other dude, Franco from Not My Street, Franco from Rescue Me, that guy.
Oh, I like him.
Yeah, but the main character
In this?
I don't even I couldn't tell you really. It's so fucking stupid. Like one guy's walking down the street and just drowns on a sidewalk. Like water starts launching out of his face and stuff.
Oh, so it's like mythical, sort of.
But they're trying to make it seem like it's not.
Right. Which can be done. Like that's how Watchmen was, right?
Heroes was like that.
Yeah. So, but there's a fine line that you have to walk if you're going to pull that off.
Yeah. Daniel Sullivan says the first 5 episodes were okay. That's probably accurate.
I mean, it was good enough to hook. Like people were talking. This was like a big trending thing a couple weeks ago. Everyone was talking about this fucking show for some reason.
That's why she started watching it. So I'm like, when does this get good?
But so it's weird because that's the only review I've heard of it. Is that it sucks.
But the thing is, I think everyone's like, how bad could it be? And they go to watch. But this, I forget who, I can't see it, but someone in the comments said they're just watching because they just need to know what happens.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
Well, that's like someone. I threw this out on Twitter. We started watching Startup on Netflix, which apparently wasn't on Netflix. I thought it was a Netflix show. Have you ever done this where you think like you stumble upon a new hit show that no one's discovered, and then you look it up and it's started like 5 years ago?
Oh,
There's
yeah,
been 3 seasons.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought Startup was like a new show. Apparently, it came out in like 2016 on Crackle. But Adam Brody's in it. It's not bad. But I threw out on Twitter. I was like, I'm not hooked yet. Should I keep watching? Like this is a few episodes in, and someone responded, I'm not hooked on it, but I want to know what happens next. Like I don't really even enjoy the show, but I'm curious what happens in the next episode. There's a lot of shows good at that, like just hooking you where you're like, all right, I guess I'll find out what happens next week.
Yeah. This, like I did that with Supernatural, that show. I watched it. I think the first time I saw it was in season 4, and I was like, oh, this is sick. No one's talking about it. And then you realize it's like an underground classic. And then it actually blew up into a pretty big show. But
it's wild that, like, and I'm sure this point's been made a million times, but it's insane now to think of the fact that, like, you know, if you were I'm trying to think of a show with a storyline from this era, and I can't really. But like if you were a big Cheers fan and very invested in what happens with Sam and Diane, and you miss a crucial episode, it's like, well, you'll never see that again.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully you're in the front of the TV at the right time over the summer.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's just like, well, I guess I'll never find out what happened the night I had to go out to dinner, you know?
You might not figure it out for like 7 years.
Right. Legitimately. Unless you'd have to ask other people, which you don't want to do either.
Yeah, because you're like, that would have been sick. I wanted to see.
It would have been fun to watch. Yeah.
That would have been great.
Although back then, like, as I'm trying to think, I'm going through the Rolodex of shows, like, you know, I'm sure you could have missed a few episodes of TJ Hooker or fucking Columbo, you know?
Yeah.
I guess they didn't have dramas in the same way where you were hooked every week.
That's true. I think that's why Sopranos was so big.
Well, so you know what? Sopranos would fall into that, though. If you missed The Sopranos, for a week, you'd be fucking lost.
But no one fucking missed The Sopranos. That was the thing.
I know.
But they also the next week would replay it before the show.
True. Yeah. HBO is different. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah. But like if you missed an episode of Seinfeld, it really didn't fucking matter.
That's why I was trying to I was trying to not to think of a sitcom, because I was, especially back then, it was like it didn't matter.
That's all it was on TV. How could you not think of them?
I know. But I couldn't think of dramas, is what I'm saying.
NCIS, those things.
Yeah, that's all dog shit.
Yeah, dude, don't tell my mother-in-law that. She fucking will kill you.
It's amazing how popular, when you think of like what's popular on TV, it's like, wow, there is a world I am completely unaware of in America.
Yeah, because NCIS is one of the like most popular shows.
And I don't know a person that watches it.
I know one. She lives downstairs.
Yeah. But that's got to be it. Maybe that's just the majority of people who are watching network television now, you know?
Yeah. Mr. Pestilence says, I hated missing Golden Girls.
I've heard that's a very good show.
Never watched it.
I remember I was drunk during a Jim Jeffries show. I went to see Jim Jeffries at the Wilbur.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember much of the show, but one thing I do remember, because I remember this because I don't remember the setup. I have zero idea why we were doing this. I waited till his special. There's no reference to Golden Girls on it. So I don't know how this came up. But the entire Wilbur Theater was singing the Golden Girls theme song along with Jim Jeffries.
He must have been hammered too.
I think he was still drinking then.
He used to drink like 4 or 5 beers a set. Not like a set.
Doesn't drink at all now.
Is he completely sober?
Yeah. Well, I saw an article. I mean, who knows? But I saw an article where he's talking about like he was going to die if he kept drinking, basically.
No shit. If you watch any of his hour specials, like those ones, he'll reach behind something and pull up a full pint.
He was the fucking man.
And it'll be gone in 2 seconds. And then he grabs another one.
He really was like Doug. I think he's like a Doug Stanhope level, like, you know, crazy storyteller.
Yeah, he was.
He really was. And, you know, I didn't think his last special was as bad as a lot of people did.
Yeah.
I saw it get trashed, but I thought there was some good shit. And he kind of, you know, let the foot off the gas on the liberal horse shit. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because he's a fucking phony and he got outed.
Yeah. Horrible segue, but I meant to do this when we were talking about top to bottom cleaning, office cleaning in Worcester. He does residences too, by the way, that guy.
Yeah, he leaves your house way worse than he found it.
Yeah, he's a loser. I don't know why I'm supposed to be like Jeff Ross in this bit. I think they brought it to the wrong guy.
I heard he hides dead fish in your house and it's your job to find it.
Yeah, fuck John Callahan. But I should also promote our boy Matt from Rhode Island and Vaulted Podcasts. Make sure you check him out because he helps us with our clips. Also for free. So make sure you help out his business.
Vaulted Podcast. Check out his podcast, Average Nobodies. They've actually started putting out shows again, which is nice.
Yes.
But yeah, if you want to record your own show, you can have multi-camera shots, all that stuff. Hit them up. Vaulted Podcast, Providence or Pawtucket? Fuck.
Yes, Providence, I think.
Yeah, they're right next to each other. So
somewhere in Rhode Island. Drive around till you find them.
It's in northern Rhode Island. I know that. Oh, Pawtucket.
Okay,
Pawtucket.
good.
Yeah, I don't know.
And speaking of comedy, as we were a moment ago, I know I mentioned it to Kirk today, but was that fucking Spotify thing? I've never seen that in a mainstream newspaper.
It was a redo.
They were putting reruns in the fucking newspaper.
Crazy.
So does that also get printed, or no?
Nah, I think they're mostly focused on
just clickbait shit, right?
Yeah.
But I've never seen that where, you know, I've seen 10 million misleading headlines, but I've never seen a mainstream newspaper tweet out an article saying, like, you know, Spotify is unhappy with Joe Rogan, and then literally just put out an article from fucking October.
I think the only difference was they said he had Quentin Tarantino on.
Yes, yeah, they updated it.
That's it.
Yeah, and they put it in the past tense instead of saying these people say. Now they said.
Right. I saw that. I was like, again. I clicked on it, and I was like, oh my god.
I was like, what the fuck? I mean, everyone knew. Everyone knew pretty quickly it was clickbait. No one got outraged about it or anything. But that's wild how badly they want him. And the Post is like a conservative outlet.
I find them pretty down the middle.
I think you think that because you lean conservative, though.
No, there's a ton of stories I'm not necessarily.
No, but what I mean is like a liberal would find them wildly conservative, I think.
Yeah, because they have one at least story that might lean a certain direction.
Yeah, because they do honest journalism, damn it.
They do. They go right down the middle. There's stuff I don't agree with, but I'll tell you this: those stories I'll actually read on the New York Post because I actually trust it.
I was like, you ever hear Mulaney's bit about the New York Post?
No.
How they have certain buzzwords. He says, children are always like tots. But if you're a dead child, you're an angel. So you're a tot and you're a child, or you're dead and you're an angel. And then he says, they always print things like anyone, he goes, a hero is anyone that does their job. Like you'll see a headline, hero tutor teaches after school. It's like, I guess.
Yeah, kids are they're touchy, but wait, what? Thanks. I fucking read. Craig thought Mein Kampf was pretty centrist opinion piece.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. You're correct, Court. Craig calls it a fun read. He slipped me the book once. He goes, "Oh, you'll enjoy this."
I read it on the Turlet.
Yeah, gets a few laughs.
No, but I mean, can you name another place that actually posts stories from both sides of arguments?
But I don't know about both sides. Daily Mail's not terrible as far as just like information.
Yeah, but
no, there's nowhere. Everywhere is fucking. It's horrible.
No, but the New York Post will they'll make a story about Trump, and then like in a positive light, and then the very next story they post will be the complete opposite opinion of that.
I meant to bring him up, by the way.
Trump.
He could end up. I know. I'm sure people will laugh at that, and Fox News will say one thing about it, that he's fighting for freedom, and CNN will say that it's bullshit and should be thrown out of court. But I honestly think he has a legitimate case against these tech companies.
What's the case?
Oh, you didn't see this? He's apparently filing suit, a class action suit against Apple, Twitter, Amazon, and Google, I think.
That's why. Okay, so
maybe not Apple. I forget if they're in there or not.
If they're actually going along with that, then I think that's why everyone's still trying to make January 6th like the worst day in the history of this country.
Oh, it was the worst day. It was.
Well, that's what I think they're doing that just so if he goes, he can be like, well, look what you did through our platforms.
Some fucking retards pulled a frat prank, essentially.
They got I mean, I just did this with Jerry, but like they literally got that fucking psycho with the headdress on and all that.
Well, I mean, whatever. But whatever. At its worst, it's a bunch of fucking morons ran through a building and scared people for a minute.
Right. And when
it's not the worst day, I mean, call it a tragedy if you want, but it's not the worst day in the fucking history of the country.
Not even close. And that QAnon shaman guy was asking permission before he walked into every room. And he's been locked up in solitary.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there were some real assholes that did horrible shit. But my thing of it is like, and I said this at the time where Trump gave him a fucking excuse. He got through 4 years clean, where there's nothing you could really point to other than his dumb fucking Twitter. And then he gave him that. So now they're hanging on to it.
He's an idiot. I really hope he doesn't run again.
Well, yeah, I just wouldn't be able to handle the fucking news cycle. But what I do hope is that he actually wins that suit, because I think that's legitimate. Like, that's a legitimate case that he has, that fucking big tech is controlling what you say now, and they hide behind. Now I'm going to sound like I'm on Fox News or something, but they literally do hide behind the idea like, well, we're not putting these people in jail. That's what everyone says. It's not a First Amendment issue. We're not putting these people in jail. It's like, no, you don't need to, because these tech companies are taking their voice away, and we all fall in line and say how horrible it is and all that shit.
Right. You know, we were also talking about that guy that brought his suit to the Smithsonian, which did you see this?
I don't think so. I listened to the podcast, so I might have heard you talk about it, but I don't remember.
He was a senator who was at the Capitol that day, and there's pictures of him picking up.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And he donated his suit to the Smithsonian.
Well, it's a very important day.
Is that not fucking crazy?
Did they accept it? Like, did they put it up?
I'm assuming, or else we wouldn't have heard about it, right?
We'll put it right here in our special room. They bring it to the incinerator.
I was saying, I was like Robert O'Neill in One Glass Case, the guy who killed Bin Laden. His suit from the day he was wearing, you know, when they killed him, his suit from that day is in One Glass Case, and then this dummies is right next to it for, you know.
It'd be great if they put it next to like Archie Bunker's chair. Like, this is our comedy section.
That would actually be great. That'd be great. I'm changing my mind on that.
You're coming around on it?
That would be fucking hilarious if they just draped it over the back of the chair, even.
Norman Lear, I think, should be one of the early episodes of Why Are You Laughing, by the way.
Okay.
I think that's a good one. I'm trying to think of the first 4 or 5. Obviously, the first one's going to be The Day the Laughter Died.
Right.
I think Norman Lear's got to be in there. I don't want to do like Carlin or Pryor too early.
Right. Skanks for the Memories. Yeah, do that one.
You think?
Oh yeah. It's like everyone's favorite.
You know what? You know who I thought of? I think Attell would be good to save also, but I was thinking of doing Colin Quinn early.
Oh, I'm all for that.
Just because he's a guy that I don't think gets anywhere near enough respect.
Nope. And he got, well, I mean, he started doing stand-up obviously before SNL.
Yeah.
But I'm shocked he didn't get propelled more from SNL.
It's correct. Well, I mean, I'll tell you why. Because Tough Crowd kind of, I mean, people will say leaned right. It didn't. Fucking Keith Patrice and Greg Giraldo were on it 80% of the time. But people will say it leaned right. And also, like, the language, like, you know, they made racial jokes and sexist jokes and homophobic jokes and shit. So Colin Quinn kind of got lumped in with that crowd, even though if you watch his stand-up, he's the most down-the-middle fucking guy that could ever exist.
He really is. He had one called Red State, Blue State, I think.
It was great. Yeah, it was on CNN, oddly enough.
I still haven't watched it, and I want to watch that one.
Oh, it's great. Check it out. Yeah, it's on Netflix now, I think.
Oh, excellent. If he has a bunch of his shit on there, I'll get lost for a few hours. Definitely.
Yeah. I think that's a good early one. I'm trying to think of people early on that are underrated, that like not everyone knows fucking everything about, but also like would get people interested in the show, you know?
Right.
Like, I don't want to do Emo Phillips in the second episode.
Definitely not. Dice is,
even though I find him very funny, by the way.
Dice is a great one to start with, especially that special. Because
Yeah,
I mean, we could. My favorite is the Dice Man Cometh from 1989.
Yeah, but so like specials like that, I don't want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do specials where we'll just be like, oh, that was funny, right?
Yeah. Well,
I think it's more interesting to dissect like weird specials like The Day the Laughter Died. And then for other people, like, we'll do an actual Dice episode where we talk about the Dice Man Cometh and shit.
Yeah, like on the whole.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
Oh, which reminds me, when's the studio going to be done for the people?
Studio, I believe I'll have everything but the rug done by the end of next week. But we'll see.
All right. So coming soon. So I'm guessing by the fall, Why Are You Laughing should be
oh yeah, definitely. I need the he's got the plaster guy's got to just patch some holes. And then once I get the door in, then we got to do the molding. Once the molding's in, I put the rug in, then we're good to go.
Have you told the story about Rob on air yet, or did you just tell me that?
Which story is that?
Oh, just when he went in when he went in Kirk's studio the other day?
Yeah, we said that he basically just railroaded.
Oh, you did yeah.
Because I told him, I go, I don't want you representing us because I don't I don't like asking people for things myself, let alone through someone else.
Yeah, I meant to bring that up. It just didn't come up. But I think it's very funny that you were like, please don't mention my name. And he's like, Craig wanted me here.
I did think it was pretty funny though.
So is he going to start producing at some point?
Yeah, I think I'm going to talk to him probably next week because he's on vacation right now and he's been very silent with his phone. But he gave me the heads up that he was going to be. We'll see. We'll see. I'm curious how the dynamic, because I'm pretty sure it definitely will change. I just don't want it to be too much.
Right. Well, check out the Very Good Show, boys.
Yeah.
Make sure you subscribe, listen to Very Good Show, buy a shirt.
Yeah, this is the free one. New show tonight at 10. How about that?
Tonight at 10. Oh, on Monday.
Yeah.
Yes. Tonight. You're going live?
No, I it's a Tuesday morning release, but it's actually Monday night at 10.
Oh, interesting. Interesting move. So you get people on the West Coast in prime time.
Right. And then in the morning, everyone opens their phone and it's already downloaded. Pretty nice.
I always wonder how much that shit matters.
I have no idea.
Because if you're subscribed to a podcast, it comes up, you know?
Well, we used to record Monday nights and I would just release it as soon as we were done, which was roughly that time.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to change everything. I don't want to go Mondays because you and Kirk are on Mondays. So I figured Tuesday is a sweet spot.
Yeah. I don't know if that matters either. You know what I mean? If you released it on Monday, but I guess this show comes out. So.
Yeah. I have no idea.
Because I always wonder about that shit. Like, I know a schedule matters. Like having the day is kind of important, but it's like if it comes out at fucking midnight or 6 a.m. or 10 a.m., it's like people listen to it when they listen to it.
Right.
But
says Ziggy says he thinks it matters more for topical news centric shows, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
I would agree. I always wonder, like, you'll be able to find out this data soon. I always wonder, like, what does an old episode of like the Jerry Callahan show from like, March of last year. Does anyone like go back and listen to that ever?
I mean, some of our shows get downloads that were from like.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I could see if someone just found out what Very Good Show is, going back to the beginning and listening. But like a news show, does anyone go back to like a year and a half ago and say, "Well, what was he talking about this day?"
Maybe if they're curious what his take was on election night or some shit. But
that seems that's a real fucking dork.
Yeah.
If you're digging through that, scroll all the way down. What date was it again?
Especially because he's a everyday show. It's like, fuck, this is a lot of.
And what do you think his take was? Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Gotcha. Roger, follow. Understood.
So check out Very Good Show. Go buy a t-shirt at teespring.com/store/Very Good Show.
How about that? We nailed it.
And teespring.com/Blind Mike.
How about that? Way easier.
Buy a t-shirt there, and we should get more shirts up of mine as well. I feel bad asking people.
And you just post it, hope some people buy it, and when they post pictures, then you retweet them, and people go, "Oh, it looks all right."
Yeah.
We can get behind that.
It's a good looking shirt. I'll say this. The Blind Mike logo that Gig made.
Shout out Gig.
Great man. Maybe the greatest man. That's a good looking shirt, I will say. In my opinion.
It is. All of them have been good.
What you have to defend when someone asks what it is may not be so great, but we try here, Also, check out Average Nobodies and Vaulted Podcast for our boy Matt from Rhode Island. And check out Top to Bottom Office Cleaners. They clean houses as well. I don't know why I'm promoting this guy, but he kind of just asked me. If you're nice enough and you just ask me, I guess I'll do it.
Leave him a 1-star review on Google because that company fucking sucks.
Yeah, fuck him. Hope his family starves.
He removes asbestos from other places and he throws it into yours. He's a piece of shit.
But if you do want to start advertising on the Blind Mike Project, just hit me or Craig up at Craig VGS at Blind Mike Underbar. At Blind Mike Proj on Twitter, Blind Mike Project on Instagram. Anything else? Is the chat saying anything? What are the people saying tonight?
People, you got questions? They're popping in here.
Oh, if the people are popping, I'm free to fire away some questions.
Ted says there's a good book by Colin Quinn on the States. I have not read it.
Oh, here's a little. He's right. Overstated. I have that on Audible, which reminds me. I started a book. I tweeted about it. What's it called?
I don't know.
Something, wisdom, happiness. I can't remember. But you can tell I'm very invested in this book. But it actually is very good. It's about investing and kind of a mental health angle to it, I guess. But the guy reading it sounds exactly like this. What I envisioned the Steve My Good Man voice was.
Yeah.
Like it is literally, Charlie Munger is Warren Buffett's most reliable asset.
Oh, I couldn't do that.
It's great. I love it.
Mike, have you seen season 2 of I Think You Should Leave?
No, I have not seen season 1. This is the second person. I think Travis from Madawaska might have told me about this, but second person this week has told me about that. Should I see it?
What show is that? I've never even heard of it.
I don't know either, but I've heard a lot of buzz about it.
Let me know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know because I have no idea what it is. But I have been watching season 2 of Dave, which has been weird. Like the first 3 episodes are weird, so if you like that shit, you might have liked it. I didn't. I thought there were parts that were good, but the episode last Wednesday. Oh, there's a new one I can watch tonight. But the episode last week I thought was very good.
The one with Kareem.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but awful things about him.
I've heard he's a real dick.
Yeah, like when the camera. That's part of my take when they get asked who their worst guest was. That's their answer.
Kareem,
then Marino.
And that's true because they wouldn't say, those guys wouldn't say that.
Oh, I guess it's a sketch show on Netflix. If that's true, I'll definitely check that out.
I Think You Should Leave. Yeah. The guy. I know the guy that does it. I don't know him. I didn't recognize the name.
Tim Robinson.
Yeah.
Never heard that
before. Check it out. But yeah, wasn't it O&A that said Kareem was a real dickbag to them? And like his publicist said, don't ask him about basketball.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite things.
Can you imagine? What the fuck would you talk to him about? Airplane?
I think they were supposed to talk to him about like supplements or some shit.
Yeah, whatever he was hawking. Yeah.
Or no, his book, and they weren't allowed to talk about basketball, which is like, come on.
How do you even ask him? What was the book about?
I have no clue.
It'd be great if the book was about like, just wild controversy. He confesses to crimes and shit, and they're like, we want to talk basketball.
His book is not about basketball. That's what it's called, not about basketball.
Don't ask me about it.
I'm sick about basketball. Yes, I'm tall.
I can see getting sick of talking about that, but it's like then you can't don't promote the book.
If you love the sport so much, you should want to talk about it all the time.
Yeah, but yes and no. He gets the same fucking questions all the time. How about that sky hook, Kareem? It's like, I got it.
Right.
It's like with anything. It's like, I like, talking comedy, but I'm sure hopefully, there's going to be episodes that people ask about all the time where it's like, I got it. Yeah, I don't feel like still talking about it,
Right. Kareem... Kareem ran through more pussy than Jay Stu. I don't even get that.
Jay Stu.
From
I don't know who that would be.
That's my best guess is the dude from 98.5.
That's what I thought, but it can't be.
Nah, his thing
An
is
odd inside reference if it was.
His thing is he kills cats.
He's a very nice guy. I felt very bad when I was at my worst with like depressive drinking.
Yep.
And I feel like when I say this shit, I'm not sober, by the way. I'll just drink like, a healthy amount of White Claws rather than fucking shots that strangers hand me. But like this was, one of my darkest periods. The summer of 2018, I think, was like the worst few months of my life, probably. and I remember I was on Twitter. Oh, this is all the James Stewart's great offense. The reason Jimmy Stewart caught my ire was I saw that he unfollowed me on Twitter, I guess. And I went off on a fucking rant about calling him I called him a ghoulish lurch.
That's pretty good.
I went off on him, and he like messaged me like, "What the fuck is going on? Like, everything okay?" And I was like, "Fuck you! You unfollowed me." And I had my conspiracies as to why, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember I think I had Carabas on when I was doing a show with MHB.
Yep.
And Carabas mentioned him for some reason. Like, he's the nicest guy ever, blah, blah, blah. And then I went and messaged him because it made me think of that incident. Like, I'd forgotten about it.
Yeah.
And I went back and messaged him, and I was like, "Hey, man, I don't know if you even remember me doing this, but I'm really sorry." And he was like, "Don't worry about it, man."
He's a wrestling fan, dude. He gets over
Just
shit.
an incredibly nice guy, and I feel very bad about that. I don't think I've ever told that story, but
Just drunk in a dark room. I'm
hey,
picturing
fuck you, man.
just the light of your phone illuminating your face, and just
That's
being like,
literally. I was in a basement apartment, in a room alone, drinking, telling probably the biggest radio producer in the city to go fuck himself.
that's something I could never do. Would be drink by myself, like twice maybe.
Well, you shouldn't. Don't pick it up.
Yeah, I won't.
Any other gems for the people?
No, I'm not seeing.
I
any.
do. I haven't done that in a while, but I did for a long time. Always go through. I would go through all the people, everyone that I follow,
Yeah,
and anyone that has unfollowed me, I will also unfollow.
got to do it. Have to.
I haven't done it in a while, and it's exhausting because I follow like 300 and something people.
Right.
So
Did
it's a tireless effort.
Did he ever follow you again? And did he say why he unfollowed you?
Don't get me started now, Craig.
This is actually Daniel Sullivan getting you started.
Daniel Sullivan, fuck. You know I haven't checked, but fuck you if he hasn't. It'd be great if you guys see a rant tonight. No, I don't know if he did or not, but he when I confronted him about it, he said that he does the same thing as me. He just like cleans up his Twitter once in a while, and he just keeps it under a certain number. And he was like, "Well, why the fuck am I following this guy?"
Did that feel worse?
Kind of in a way, yeah. But he was honest with me about it, and he was very nice.
Did you wish?
I think he phrased it a little nicer than that, but that was the gist of it.
I had to clean up this mess, and I was like, "Mike, out."
Oh yeah, I don't need to see this shit anymore. This drunk ranting at media types.
Just Felger, just him. I want to hear him tell Felger all about it.
I can't imagine Felger even understanding the story.
Just doesn't look up from
Blind Mike? What is this?
What is that? He can't see. And you just hear, he's stupid. SEOOPID.
Oh, that fucking clown. I have a lot of respect for Felger as a broadcaster. I have zero for Maz. Although I respect him in the sense of I don't think he gives a fuck what anyone thinks. Like he's just happy collecting a check.
Yeah, he doesn't care, and his baseball knowledge is crazy. I used to listen to
The baseball show.
Yeah, because it was just on.
Yeah,
he talks for an hour nonstop about baseball every day.
I would always refer to that show when he did the baseball show as like a guy coming off a coke binge. Like for 4 hours, he just said, you know, like the Patriots should trade Tom Brady, like just shit that he knows is going to set people off. Yeah. And then at 6 o'clock, he'd be like, "All right, now if the Sox are going to take the AL East, here's what they got to do." You just get down to basics.
Gather around, people. He calms way down. He's in a nursing home.
Yeah, but yeah, if you're not from Boston, Tony Maz is basically the guy that you have in your market, where it's just like he's a caricature. He just says whatever like. What's the big sports story today? I'm trying to think. He'd say Shohei Ohtani is no good. The Angels should trade him.
what's the big news story? And I'm like, oh, the fucking Lightning won the cup last night. Don't even.
Yeah. Anything else before we check out?
No, looks like it.
All right, folks. Well, thank you for being in the comments. And if you'd like to be in the comments too, you can for as little as $1 a month to check out patreon.com/blindmike. And if you want to do other stuff like the board meeting that we have around 5 tomorrow, that's on the $10 tier. We got other stuff on the $5 tier. I'm going to do an extra more on money. Oh, that was the other thing, by the way, before I forget. When I mentioned not being able to promote the show,
Mm-hmm.
you know, when Kirk asked me why Penn National was a good value, and I like just fucking froze and didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
I have talked about why Penn National is at a good value under $100 for months. I've said 10 million times that as gambling is legalized across the United States, they've got an advantage with the Barstool brand, which I think is a big deal. They've got a built-in audience of degenerate gamblers already, which I say in a good way. I've got a script in my mind of why I think Penn National is so valuable. And then when he asked me, I'm like, who knows?
No, I like the go subscribe to find out.
Yeah, you should subscribe to More on Money because we do a free episode on Fridays on YouTube. So go check that out.
We do have one question left.
Oh, please.
What's the deal with the engagement ring?
Once I can afford it, baby.
That's
Tell
right.
Alba to get out of the Tell her to start,
She's in the
rustling up a meal instead of asking questions in the comments here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was accused of not answering that. I just didn't see it. So
No, thank you, sir. I will have to get whoever that sponsor is. They're very good people. I'll have to see if they can hook me up with a ring.
you can reimburse me for mine.
All right, boys and gals. Thank you for listening, and I don't know. We'll see you whenever.
Bye.
And I think to myself,